Let's move on to Hey Rocky Top, Tennessee. Best song in all of college football. I'm sorry, even like a couple years ago when Tennessee was beating Alabama for the first time, like one of Saban's last few years, and they had that crazy like 52-49 game, and then like it's just Rocky Top time after time after time. Hard not to get swept up in Rocky Top magic. I love when Tennessee's good. I love when they're in the mix. They got some bad news over the offseason. They lost their quarterback, their veteran quarterback from last year, who they were hoping they'd be able to get one more year of eligibility out of in Joey Aguilar. But the Faizon Brandon, the 5-star quarterback, the Faizon Brandon era starts now in Knoxville. Heupel, he brought in Nico Velova, or whatever that fucking guy's name was, who's at UCLA now. They got to the playoff. They lost to Ohio State, and that was a tough matchup. But Heupel's a very good coach, in my opinion. Brings in Jim Knowles to lead the defense. Knowles was that defensive coordinator in that matchup with Ohio State in the playoffs a few years ago. Good defensive coordinator, and let's see what Heupel can do with kind of his second 5-star quarterback now to develop and turn into kind of his project for the next 2 or 3 years. Ryan, I'll come to you. Do you think Heupel and this stud freshman are interesting this year, or are they going to be in the mix? Are they going to be in the title race come mid-October with some big games on the end of the schedule, or is this going to be a kind of a rough transitional year for the Volunteers?
It's hard to really say until you see that 5-star freshman get out on the field. But every instinct in my body has me saying no, they are not going to be in it. I think Heupel he's awesome with quarterbacks, but having a true freshman run that system seems like a lot of responsibility, especially with that SEC schedule. Georgia Tech, week 2 is not a super easy out-of-conference game. Texas early, Alabama. It's a brutal schedule. And with the win total being 7.5 is one where I definitely like the under. I think it's just going to be more struggle than not with a freshman quarterback. And I also think that Knowles, year 1, has had a little problem at places. I think it's a pretty complicated defense from what people say. And it's not super easy for everyone to catch on, especially with just one spring. It might be one of those defenses that takes a year or two.
100%. We saw that with Ohio State. It was very, very marginal improvement in year 1 when he came to Ohio State. We still kind of got tore up in some of the biggest games that we had in the year one of the Jim Knowles era. But once he kind of had a couple off seasons to really get guys familiar with the terminology and the scheme, the structure of the defense, and how he wants it to be played, it really came together well. I think he's a good coach, but I think you're right that it may take more than one off season to really click on all cylinders. Marsh, hey, old Rocky Top.
Rocky Top, Tennessee. I love it, dude. I'm with you. I think outside of the orange and white picnic garments, Tennessee absolutely nails it with Rocky Top. Now, the picnic garment things, that's a whole other story. You look a little embarrassing.
The checkers? I love the checkered end zone.
Listen,
the checkers.
I love the awesome. Checkered end zone is great. The checkered fucking overalls that these people wear, a little bit too much. Okay, or is it? That's full throttle on the aggressive, if you will. But no, I think Tennessee. Listen, it's interesting. I mean, Joey Aguilar losing the whole lawsuit thing, while Trinidad Chambliss, which we'll get to in a second, ends up winning. It's a whole political nightmare. I don't know how all that shit works. It's kind of crazy that that's the world we live in right now. But Faizon Brandon being a 5-star true freshman coming in, George McIntyre, they've got some pieces. It's a matter of what works from that perspective. DeSean Bishop is there, obviously SEC back and player of the year most likely. I think realistically Tennessee is in a good spot from a roster perspective if the quarterback position pans out. Now I look at Josh Heupel, I love what he's doing, and obviously bringing in Jim Knowles, and you guys talked about this, just kind of the system, the multiple fronts, the disguises. It's a lot to learn for some of these kids first year when it comes to that scheme. But I mean, what I love is realistically, I just am a huge Josh Heupel guy. Let's be real. College football, it's different than NFL, right? NFL, I tend to lean more toward defense, and I like to see these guys dominate. College, I like to see points scored. I like to see the crazy air raid schemes and whatnot. Not saying that that's what Heupel is, but he's a great offensive coordinator. And the funny thing about all of this was really from media day that made me laugh, where he's talking about Lane Kiffin's return. And he brings up, I hope we stock up the grocery stores with mustard and the sporting goods stores with golf balls, because the last time that Lane Kiffin came in 2021, his return to Knoxville, they were throwing mustard bottles and golf balls at Lane Kiffin. And Josh Heupel just fueled it and said, everybody better be in stock when LSU comes to town. I fucking love that. We need more of that shit. You know, that is what the SEC is about. It's a cutthroat, if you are my rival, I'm going to shit on your doorstep type rivalry. And I love that Heupel's out here making comments about buying mustard bottles and golf balls to throw at Lane Kiffin when he makes his entrance as this fucking fake tan coming through the tunnel at Neyland Stadium. So give me Tennessee stock when LSU comes to town. I love every second of that. I'm going to mark that one, circle it on my calendar. I don't give a shit how good Tennessee is. I'm probably taking Tennessee in the points in that game if LSU's not a dog shit team. And then obviously, I think Tennessee as a whole, again, comes down to quarterback play. I think they've got a lot of talented pieces on that front. Jim Knowles shores up a defense that just got absolutely shredded through the air last season. So I like buying stock in Tennessee. I'm not saying SEC title. I'm not saying college football playoff. I'm saying probably 9-ish, 10-ish wins. Going to come just short. But Rocky Top is vibing. And I think ultimately they build some more pieces around it. And the Tennessee Volunteers will be close to a top of my list, especially with the young talent they have on the roster going into 2027, 2026. Just I think they're going to be that top tier, just missed team.
Yep. No, it's interesting. I was actually just flipping as you were kind of giving your breakdown, Marsh. I was flipping through the Phil Steele preview, and he's more bullish on the offensive line than some of these other previews are. He's got Tennessee offensive line ranked as his projected fourth best offensive line in the country this year, tied for first in the SEC with Missouri. So
Wow.
that's encouraging. He typically, when he kind of deviates from the rest, he's got a reason to, and he likes some of these portal pieces better than others, I guess, and then thinks they'll gel. So you give Heupel a very solid offensive line. Steele's also got he's got the linebacker group as the sixth best linebackers in the country. So you give Knowles a solid group of athletic kind of foundational linebackers to build around there in the middle of the defense. Those are two kind of good foundational pieces for the offensive coach and the defensive coach. But yeah, can Faizon Brandon come together? Ryan, you saw last year, super highly touted 5-star freshman quarterback, mobile, had some moments, but it's hard. It's hard to really have, that 5-star talent translate in the Big Ten and the SEC. Heupel's a better coach than the butter knife situation that Underwood had last year. But how much better and how much more can we expect than kind of what we saw out of Bryce Underwood last year?
That's impossible to really answer. You would hope Tennessee fans would hope he's a little better than Underwood was last year, but it's a very tough thing to lean on a freshman quarterback, to have him step up in the pocket when he has a fifth-year senior D tackle coming free. Does that freshman stick in the pocket and make the throw he has to, or does he tense up a little bit and throw one high that gets picked off? So until you see it, you can't really make the judgment. But I'm gonna make the guy prove it to me always before I give him the benefit of the doubt. So I'll root the kid on, but I always think it's tough for a true freshman.
Yeah, Ryan. I think you hit the nail on the head with Faizon Brandon and the Tennessee quarterback situation. It'll be interesting to see.